This question is, if I live in a heavily armed compound in Montana, can I legally use DIY landmines on my property to stop invaders who breach the perimeter of my territory?
This guy is already using them.
It's to check in, though.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like if you build a DIY landmine, you're killing yourself.
I think the odds of him taking himself out are pretty good. So I put one over there, and then...
I'm so sick of these corporate landmines.
Yeah, these aren't big box landmines you're going to get at the store.
I would immediately forget where my landmines are for sure. And
I'm always saying this, but if you're a landmine guy, you also got to be a maps guy.
You really do.
It's a whole
You got to be into maps.
You got to be careful where those babies
You
go.
can't have a dog.
And yet I feel like they all have dogs.
Yeah, they probably do.
It's a companionship.
The leash is 20 feet. The landmines are 23 feet. Should be cool.
The system works.
Yeah.
This guy says, in American case law, there's an example of a person who set up a gun which would be triggered if someone tried to break into their home. There was a sign outside that warned of no trespassing. It also may have mentioned something about there being booby traps. In that case, the court ruled that these types of lethal traps and guns were illegal on policy grounds. This is called the SAW rule. There's always the risk of emergency personnel or police accidentally getting killed in case of an emergency situation. There's also the possibility of a kid or teenager making a lethal mistake. All right, so you win some, you lose some there.
I'm so into the SAW rule. Just like a case getting to court and the judge being like, do we really want to live in SAW? Is that what we're doing? I want to ride around on a tiny tricycle all day.
Yeah, you have to set up a little TV if you're going to do it.
You got to be learning lessons.
There's riddles before you open the door. That was the answer? Like, there's...
You can't do it. I made up the SAW rule. Sorry.
I got you.
Yeah, I don't know if Alex thinks that that's a real rule that's in there.
Here's a question.
That's an actual story that somebody had like a...
According to this man, this guy, Alexander Finnegan, who was placed on the domestic terrorist watch list for disagreeing.
So he knows.
Uh-oh.
The FBI's coming for me.
Also self-taught violinist.
Huh.
And lawyer, it says. Self-taught lawyer? Oh, no. Well, this is not real.
They were wrong to put you on that watch list.
All right. Well, I guess that's not true. One guy says, why not just build a wall?
Shut up.
That's true.
We're not doing it for the walls.
Yeah,
We're doing it for the landmines.
Yeah, no one's trying to break into this man's house.
How am I going to blow up the immigrants if I got to walk in?
I see you working on a battle bot. Why don't you just make a car? Shut up.
I'm not familiar with Montana law, but generally you can't use deadly force against trespassers or to protect property. Is that true?
We got to get a Montana law expert on for this show.
I thought that was the stand your ground law.
Yeah, I thought that was
always thought by rights then abortion should be legal under a stand your ground law.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Trespassing in
Yeah.
Or maybe the fetus should be able to kill you.
Kinane's taking down the right.
It had to be said.
Yeah, but that's like so many states. That's their...
Yeah, that joke does, I guess, assume that there is a life at conception, but you can kill it.
Listen, you invite somebody in your house. After a while, they're threatening you. Now you want them out of your house.
I think that's a fair compromise.
What happens under a stand your ground law in that case?
What is a
legitimately? I'm curious legally how that would handle.
Oh, suddenly it's not cool to kill people you don't like.
Yeah.
Oh, you know where this will get a lot of engagement when we post it is Quora.com in 20 minutes.
That's a good